isn't merely about living a long earthly life. It's about living a life of fulfillment, purpose, and eternal significance. To be satisfied means to be filled with God's peace, joy, and abundant life. It's a life marked by His provision, His presence, and His eternal promises. And my salvation speaks of something far greater than physical safety. It points to eternal life through Jesus Christ. God's ultimate promise is not just protection in this world, but eternal security in His presence. His salvation is complete, covering body, mind, and soul. Through Jesus, we are delivered from sin, death, and every force of darkness. Psalm 91 is a timeless reminder that God's protection is both powerful and personal. It assures us that no matter what we face, whether visible challenges or unseen battles, God's covering remains steadfast and unshakable. His promises are not vague hopes, but declarations backed by His eternal power, His perfect love, and His unchanging faithfulness. As you reflect on the words of this psalm, remember that the protection God offers is more than physical safety. It is spiritual security, emotional peace, and eternal salvation. He watches over your life with care that is both fierce and tender. He is your refuge when you feel vulnerable, your fortress when you need strength, and your deliverer when you face trials too great to bear alone. His arms are always open, inviting you to rest beneath His wings, where no force of darkness can prevail. The promise of angelic protection reminds us that we are never truly alone. God has stationed His heavenly forces around you, responding at His command, guarding your steps, and defending you from dangers you may never even notice. Every breath you take, every step you make, is surrounded by divine protection that cannot be broken. His shield of faithfulness is impenetrable and eternal. When fear threatens to consume you, when uncertainty clouds your path, and when life feels overwhelming, return to the truth of Psalm 91. Speak its promises aloud. The Lord is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. Trusting in God is not about denying life's difficulties, but about surrendering them into His capable hands. It means living with the assurance that He is sovereign over every situation, and that nothing can touch your life without His knowledge and purpose. So today, stand firmly on the promises of Psalm 91. Choose to dwell in God's presence, not as a temporary refuge, but as your constant home. Surrender your fears, trust in His perfect plan, and walk boldly into whatever lies ahead. You are covered by His wings, shielded by His truth, and held securely in His love. As we conclude our reflection on Psalm 91, we are reminded of God's unfailing protection and His promise to guard us from harm. This powerful imagery of God as our refuge naturally leads us to Psalm 23, where we see another facet of His divine care, not just as our protector, but as our shepherd. While Psalm 91 emphasizes safety and deliverance, Psalm 23 invites us to experience God's provision, guidance, and peace in every season of life. Let us now turn to this beloved psalm and explore how God, as our shepherd, leads us with love and faithfulness. Psalm 23, cherished across generations, offers a sacred space where our restless hearts can find peace, assurance, and hope. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. These words are a declaration of trust, whispered in times of joy and cried out in seasons of need. They are not just poetic lines, but a spiritual foundation for life itself. In a world that constantly urges us to strive, achieve, and secure our future, this opening verse gently reminds us that our true security comes from the Lord's care. Picture a shepherd tending his flock in the quiet stillness of dawn. His eyes are sharp, always watchful. His steps are sure, guiding his sheep toward safety and rest. He knows their every need, from green pastures for nourishment to still waters where they can drink without fear. He leads not out of duty, but out of deep personal love. To call God my shepherd is to acknowledge that we are not wandering aimlessly through life. We are under the watchful care of the one who knows our paths and sees what lies ahead. He goes before us, clearing the way, and follows behind, ensuring no harm overtakes us. His presence is both our protection and our peace. I shall not want is not merely about material provision, but a deeper promise of soul sufficiency. It means that in God's presence, there is nothing we truly lack. He provides strength when we are weary, hope when we are discouraged, and comfort when we are broken. Even in seasons of waiting or difficulty, His provision is timely and perfect. As the day begins, release your anxieties into the care of the shepherd. Trust that He sees every need you carry, even those you cannot put into words. He is not distant or unconcerned. He is intimately aware of your journey and lovingly involved in every detail. His care is constant, His love unfailing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. In these words, we find a picture of rest and renewal. The green pastures symbolize abundance, peace, and spiritual nourishment. They are places where our souls can breathe again, free from the pressures of life. The still waters reflect tranquility, a calm that the world cannot give, but that God graciously provides. Notice that the shepherd makes us lie down. Sometimes in the rush of life, we resist rest. We push through exhaustion, thinking that our worth is measured by how much we accomplish. Yet, God knows our limits better than we do. He leads us to stillness, inviting us to rest in His presence, where our souls can be refreshed and restored. Consider the still waters of your life, moments when God's peace has gently settled over you, even in the midst of chaos. His guidance is never forceful, but always intentional, drawing us into a place where His love can heal our deepest wounds. The shepherd leads with tenderness, understanding that rest is not a luxury, but a necessity for our well-being. He restores my soul. Restoration goes beyond physical rest. It reaches the core of who we are. Life can leave us drained, bruised by disappointments, wearied by struggles, or burdened by past regrets. Yet, in God's presence, our souls are made whole again. His touch brings renewal, like rain falling on dry, cracked ground, causing it to flourish once more. The restoration God offers is personal and complete. He knows exactly where we are worn and weary, and He meets us there. No wound is too deep, no failure too great. His mercy is a healing balm, softening hardened hearts and bringing back joy where sorrow once dwelled. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. God's guidance is not random or uncertain. He leads with purpose, directing us toward righteousness, a life aligned with His will, marked by truth, integrity, and grace. His paths may not always seem easy, but they are always right, crafted for our good and His glory. Walking in righteousness means living in a way that reflects God's character. It is a journey shaped by daily choices to trust, obey, and love as He loves. When we stray, His guiding hand gently brings us back, correcting our course with patience and compassion. His name is at stake in our lives. He leads us not because we are deserving, but because His nature is faithful and true. His reputation as the Good Shepherd is bound to His care for His flock. In every step, He demonstrates His unchanging love and steadfast commitment to our well-being. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for You are with me. Your rod and Your staff, they comfort me. Life's path is not always smooth or bathed in sunlight. There are valleys, dark, uncertain, and filled with shadows of fear and loss. The valley of the shadow of death represents life's most difficult and painful experiences. Grief, hardship, and moments when hope seems distant. Yet even in these valleys, the psalmist declares boldly, "I will fear no evil." What gives such confidence?